jump away for the Grade 2 Mrs. Paddy Power. Mare's Chase, Jeté Port drop right out at the back of the field as they make their way towards the first of 17 scheduled fences, and Allegorie De Vassy, pink colours, jumping markedly out to her right over the first. She got over nimbly enough, but she did go right hand down. Leads up by a couple of lengths early, extending it over Dinoblue, the white cap, as they clear out over the second. Then the white-faced Bride's Hill, blue and yellow silks, is down at the running rail. Working across to She Could Be Anything in the yellow sleeves, and Limerick Lace, the star on the cap, a little wider. Deeper still is Fontaine Collage in a dark blue jacket, as Allegorie De Vassy gives the third fence plenty of daylight. Meanwhile, Royal Margot, dark blue and grey silks, is in the last group of three. And then towards the rear of the field, Mayhem Mire in a red, white and blue jacket. And last of all, a further 2 or 3 lengths away, Jeté Port, and she would be probably about 10 lengths off the pace-setting Allergorie De Vassy, who brings them towards the end of the first half mile. Turns on in with an advantage of 3 lengths. Over Dinoblue, the white cap, and owner mate Limerick Lace, the star on the cap, second and third respectively. And then Bride's Hill, with Fontaine Collage out widest of all in the dark blue, followed by She Could Be Anything and Royal Margot. Mayhem Mire is last but one, and Jeté Port ridden with exaggerated patience as Allegorie De Vassy leads them over the fifth, jumping soundly enough. Slight error at the rear of the field from Jeté Port. Another pair of fences to take before one complete circuit ahead of them, and it's Allegorie De Vassy and Paul Townend in front by a little over 2 lengths. Tracked by Dinoblue, Mark Walsh, the white cap, sitting in second, and then Limerick Lace and Jack Kennedy in third. Again, Allegorie of De Vassy inclined to go out to her right. Bride's Hill is down at the running rail, the blue and yellow for Keith Donoghue as they close in now on fence 7. And then a small break to She Could Be Anything with the yellow sleeves, in advance of Royal Margot jumping up on her inner. Fontaine Collage has got 2 behind as they turn to meet rising ground. Mayhem Mire is last but one, and Jeté Port at the tail. Almost single file stuff now. They're about to crest the rise and make the descent towards the 8th. Allegorie De Vassy with an uncontested lead, stalked by Dinoblue. Limerick Lace is racing on the far side of Bride's Hill. 2 or 3 lengths away, She Could Be Anything ahead of Royal Margot, the dark blue and grey. And then back to Fontaine Collage in a dark blue jacket ahead of Mayhem Mire, and Jeté Port remains last of all. And again, Allegorie De Vassy goes out to her right. Moving on now towards the water jump, approaching halfway in the Mrs. Paddy Power Mare's Chase. Allegorie De Vassy not so far in front, awkward there as well. She slightly bunny hopped it. Much more fluent leap in second from Dinoblue, who's got clear sailing up the running rail. And they close in on the first of a pair of open ditches. Bride's Hill is in behind the leading duo. Limerick Lace took off and landed in 4th. Ahead of She Could Be Anything, the yellow sleeves. Royal Margot down at the running rail, and then Mayhem Mire and Fontaine Collage, and last of all is Jeté Port, and they're heading now for the final mile, and there would still be 10 or maybe 12 lengths from first to last. Fontaine Collage has dropped out to the tail of the field, and there's the first to really begin to struggle. Allegorie De Vassy leading them towards 6 outs, out to her right, but jumping soundly enough from Dinoblue. Bride's Hill is a very close third. Limerick Lace on the outer if She Could Be Anything, who is inching a little bit closer. 5 from home now coming up, but still a very long way out. Allegorie De Vassy over Dinoblue. And then Bride's Hill, Limerick Lace, She Could Be Anything, Royal Margot. Mayhem Mire is being ridden along as they prepare to make the descent. A long gap has then developed Jeté Port and Fontaine Collage, who continue but tailed off. 4 out, Allegorie De Vassy. Spring-heeled, again going right, but she gave it plenty of daylight, and she continues to allow Dinoblue clear sailing up the running rail, and Mark Walsh sitting quietly on the descent. Bride's Hill in the blue and yellow is edging into it. She Could Be Anything in 4th. Limerick Lace back to 5th. Then Royal Margot in the dark blue and grey, and over the third last they go. Allegorie De Vassy joined by Dinoblue, who comes there travelling very strongly, it would seem. A long run now back towards the final 2 fences. They've got 3 furlongs left to go in the Mrs. Paddy Power Mare's Chase. Allegorie De Vassy is now stared in the eye by Dinoblue. Bride's Hill trying to hunt down the leading pair. Back in 4th, She Could Be Anything. Limerick Lace well beaten. Here's 2 out. Dinoblue jumps into a narrow lead from Allegorie De Vassy. Bride's Hill has got work to do. Dinoblue shaken up by Mark Walsh, asked to extend. Here's the last. Dinoblue over it. Allegorie De Vassy is down, a tumbling fall. Bride's Hill is left a remote second. She could be anything back in third. Dinoblue powering on up the Cheltenham Hill. Second in the race 12 months ago. Her fourth festival. She's in the winners' enclosure. Willie Mullins, Mark Walsh, JP McManus, Dinoblue. Bride's Hill in second. She could be anything third. Mayhem Meyer back in fourth. Allegorie De Vassy is up, and so too Paul Townend.
Perhaps two of the easiest winners of the week have been Factifile so impressively yesterday in the Ryanair, and now Dinoblue here today. Conditions much more up her street this year.
Definitely, yeah. It was heavy ground last year, and a lot of people were saying I was giving her too much to do, but I actually couldn't go on the heavy ground last year. She's a different mare on that good ground today. Travelled way better, she jumped brilliant, so yeah, I'm delighted she got her head in front.
And you obviously knew what Allegorie De Vassy was going to do. She was going to go out to her right, so you got a nice little position on her inside.
Yeah, myself and Keith Dunn made sure we were inside with Paul, so it worked out great. Had a little pocket down behind Paul, and he was jumping right most of the way, so it was straightforward. And
she jumped really well, because she can, on the odd occasion, get the odd one wrong, but here she was immaculate seemingly.
Yeah, it's another thing, the good ground, she just jumps off it way better than now with heavy ground, so yeah. Good ground's a big key to her. Do
you think she's as affected at this trip as she is? Have you seen her over 2 miles?
Yeah, I think she probably wants this trip now. She hasn't the pace for 2 miles anymore. She ran in Leopardstown at Christmas, and she was on her head for a lot of the way. So I think 2.5 miles is her trip now.
And it's remarkable to have an easy win at the Cheltenham Festival. You've had two. I mean, Factifile was tremendously straightforward, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. He just showed how good he was. The 2.5 mile trip suited him way better. We could let him slide on and use his jumping, and he's such a long stride, whereas over 3 we were kind of easing him back, and when he was jumping he just taking him back, which didn't really suit him, so I think that trip for the time being suits him.
And did the race pan out as you expected? I thought that Il Francais might go on a bit earlier.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go, and I didn't want to give him an inch at the start, but he didn't. He waited till he got up around the stands and went to the front, but I had him covered ever down the hill, and my lad I gave him a little squeeze cup size James, and he took off and winged it and away with him.
It's been the classiest performance I think so far this week. Do you think it has been too?
Definitely, it was the best feeling I got all week anyway.
And Willie was talking afterwards, he still hankers after him being a Gold Cup horse. Do you think, having had this season of learning, he might yet be able to attain that?
Yeah, definitely, yeah, without a doubt. We'll have to wait and see next year. Look, he's after winning 2 Grade 1s this year, so we're delighted with him.
And talking of Gold Cups, you've got, I know the way you're thinking has been supplemented for the race later on. How are you feeling about the task ahead? Because his jumping has been an issue in the past, and he does seem to be getting better though, would you say so? Yeah, he's getting the hang of things. I haven't ridden him this season. My last time to ride him was in Aintree last year. Keith's been riding him, but he's getting the hang of things, and I'm hopeful of a good run. It's going to be a big task taking on Galloping the Champ, but look, we're happy with our horse, and we're looking forward to it. Well, at least he's upwardly mobile coming into the race. Very best of luck, and many congratulations on your 3 winners this week.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Those conditions out there, much more up her street to her liking than this time last year.
Yeah, she's a much better mare on good ground. Mark said she loved it out there and loved the surface. Last year she found it a bit tough.
Her jumping was so good this time as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, she's at it a while now. She should be getting the hang of it. Yeah.
And how about Factifile? I think without doubt that, well, probably 2 of your horses have been classy performance, but in terms of the established horses, Factifile, the classiest performance of the week that we've seen so far. How did you feel watching him in the Ryanair?
Well, he's a horse we've thought an awful lot of. I was a little disappointed with him at Leopardstown, but when a coincidence follows a coincidence, it's not a coincidence, so I thought maybe it was better to avoid Galloping the Champ and hope that he'd do the business in the Ryanair.
And he did it so straightforwardly in all class. Willie afterwards, you would expect him to, still sees him as a Gold Cup horse. Do you too?
Well, that's a long way away. We have to see, strangely, in Leopardstown, the last I was saying, maybe we should have ran him in the 2 mile. Keep him away from Galloping the Champ. And to listen, it was only banter, but kind of half serious at the same time.
It speaks of the amount of innate ability the horse has, though.
Yeah, you know, he's just very special, I think, and hopefully he's around for a while.
Hopefully he is. And then Jaguar, John O'Neill bringing you a race that you hadn't yet won before. I didn't realise you hadn't got the plate.
No, I had plenty of seconds in it. It was great to see John Joe and the young team of trainers. They've done a great job with him. They were very patient because he was a slow maturing horse that he needed all the time he got, and you know, fair play to them. They gave him the time, and it's paid off.
Very much so. And finally the new Lion, who was a touch of class, wasn't he, in the Turners Novices Hurdle?
Yeah, it looked a very, very good race. He done it well. He got an excellent drive from Harry, and you know, hopefully he's one for next year. What Dan decides to do, I'm not sure, but fingers crossed.
He was talking champion hurdle in the immediate aftermath.
Yeah, well, it could be. Now, previous winners of the Turners have gone on to win the champion hurdle. So let's see what unfolds. You know, there's a lot of things that'll happen between now and then.
Absolutely, and there's a lot that can happen so far for the rest of the day as well. Best of luck with your 2 in the Gold Cup and also in the Amateurs Gold Cup immediately afterwards as well.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
we are too. Thanks,
Thank
JP.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
5th, 2nd this week, is that right? As well as the winner Stumptown, of course.
5th, 2nd. But listen, we'll take it on this occasion, you know, with Allegorie De Vassy falling at the last. I'd say we were going to be 3rd. Listen, she ran a great race, but the winner was a very good winner.
Yeah, Bridesill she found the other 2 just getting away from her, didn't they? Turning her home.
Yeah, she was on their coattails coming down the hill, but they just quickened away from her.
Yeah. And your other 2 mares, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I haven't spoken to Jack yet about Limerick Lace, but listen, she ran okay. But I suppose slower ground would help her. Yeah, no real excuse for her. And listen, the other mare is just outclassed here.
And looking forward to the big one with, I know the way you're thinking. I mean, you know, you've supplemented him. How are you feeling now the day has come?
Looking forward to it, yeah. I'm very happy with him. The ground is, listen, it's beautiful ground. If it was a little bit slower, we'd take it, but it is what it is, and we won't be using it as an excuse.
Okay, well, very best of luck for that, and congratulations on the win at Bridesill.
Thank you. Thanks, Lydia.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.